Get your ears wrapped around the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast. All the scoop you need to know from college basketball to the NBA and even March Madness. News of your rising stars. Topics on and off the hardwood. This is the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast.
Welcome to the GSMC Basketball Podcast with your favorite host, Ryan Holloway, presented on and brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network for all of your podcasting needs. Now, I got a lot going on today. I'm going to squeeze it all in for you guys. We got a lot going on. I'm going to talk about, we got Durant, somehow, some way, Durant's being talked about as the MVP, which I'm confused about. I like Durant and got mad love for him, but I don't necessarily understand it. We got Isaiah waving the white flag for the him and Paul Pierce tribute dispute. Rondo had something to say about it. We got him. I got my feelings on the Pelicans. I feel like the Pelicans, I got some things to say about the Pelicans. We got Booker have 43 last night with 21 in the fourth quarter. We got the Ball brothers combined for 60 overseas. So I feel like I should have kind of tried to spread this out a little bit. Oh, I also have this day in NBA history for you guys as usual. I probably should have spread this out a little bit, but I got a feeling that you're going to be okay. I got a feeling that you're going to be all right. One thing I do just need to say though, I just want to just make something kind of clear. Just, PSA, just for those of you out there who may be in a little bit of danger. There's been an epidemic going on and people are eating Tide Pods. Now, I don't really know if they're only eating Tide Pods. Maybe they could be eating, like the other type of pods that you put in dishwashers or washing machines. I'm sure it's not only Tide Pods, but there's an epidemic going around and people are just randomly eating Tide Pods. It's a Tide Pod challenge. There's no reason to be eating these. There's no protein in them. They don't make you feel really good. They're not like a gusher fruit snack. They are potentially dangerous and they can kill you. So Gronkowski went ahead and told everybody, hey, you know what, dudes, you guys shouldn't be eating Tide Pods. Okay, bro, it's dangerous. So since he, as a public figure, took time out of his day to say people shouldn't eat Tide Pods, I feel like it's my duty to go ahead and duplicate his sentiment. To any of those out there holding a Tide Pod right now, put it down. Put down the Tide Pod. Okay? All right, perfect. On with the show. So we got Kevin Durant, and what's being talked about right now is how he's the MVP. He should be the MVP because the way he's playing, he's balling. People feel like he's having like one of the best seasons that he's ever had in his life. And he's balling. He's averaging, looks like 26, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and he's averaging 2 blocks a game. So there's been a lot of celebration of the defense he's playing right now. And I'm not a hater at all about it. I'm happy that he's getting so much praise after having like dirt just pouring all over his name last season. And that's usually how things happen when you make a move that's unpopular. You make a move for yourself, right? Make a move for yourself, and then other people don't like it because it's not in their best interest or it's not what they expected. That move works out for you, then everyone celebrates you. If you look through history, I promise you, 95% of success stories are like this. Someone does something that no one else thinks is cool. Nobody likes. Why are they doing that? That's stupid. There'd be like 10 out of 100 people. Like, that's dumb. Why would that person do that? They're an idiot. If I was them, I would do this. That's the coldest line someone can ever say. If I was you, I would do this. Not knowing your complete circumstances, not knowing what you've been through, not knowing all the variables involved, but someone will tell you fast, if I was you, I would do that. Right? That's what they say. and then things work out for you and they're like, oh, okay. Oh, I see. Oh, I see what you did there. I understand. I get it. Okay. Happens all the time. In fact, I'll get to this a little bit later, but it's happening with the Ball brothers right now, because we can all say what we would do in that situation, but sometimes, like, the least popular decision is what's best for you. This happened exactly when LeBron, and I'm not like a late bloomer on this situation at all. Like, when LeBron went to Miami, I've been to Miami. I actually went to Miami the same summer that he left. And I was like, why wouldn't you want to live here? Like, why wouldn't you want to live in this place? This is amazing. You can get to go play basketball with your best friend and possibly go to the finals, win a bunch of championships, or you can live 40 miles from where you grew up at and play basketball there. If you have the chance to live anywhere in the world, why would you live 40 miles from your home if you can go at this time in your life? At this time, why would you live 40 miles away from your house? Why? Like, in there? That's crazy. Which is ironic, because when LeBron did go to the Heat, he did win a couple MVPs playing with that team. Now, this team that Durant is on, he may possibly end up being the MVP. Now, Durant did the exact same thing. I mean, I'm going to say, people say it's a difference because, oh, well, LeBron's was different because the Cavs never lost to the Heat. And it's different. That's semantics. People say, oh, it'd be the same thing if like LeBron went to the Celtics. So, I mean, he went to the Warriors because his team couldn't get over the hump. And I feel like these GMs, they do this thing. Well, they're not really, I don't think they're doing it anymore. But they were doing this thing where they would get this player and they're like, all right, we got this player and he likes it here. We'll pay him a bunch of money. He'll just stay and he'll just waste his whole career here and we'll be fine. It'll be great. We'll try to give him some people, but we won't. We'll see what we can do. What'd they do? They let James Harden walk, just let him walk, and didn't like try to replace him or didn't make an effort to replace him. And they fired the coach they liked. They brought in a new coach, and things weren't necessarily getting better. Then they lose to a team that's drafting correctly, but OKC almost smacked them. But Klay Thompson had 42 in the third quarter. Now, the Warriors get the finals and they lose. They're like, oh, you know what we need? We need another weapon, and I know who we want. And they went and got Kevin Durant. So it's a mutual understanding. This isn't some massive bandwagon where it's like, oh, everyone's winning over there. Like when the Celtics were good and every OG was like jumping on the Celtics trying to get on. No, it's not. It's not one of those things. I don't think it's one of those things. This isn't even the Patriots thing where it's like, hey, if you come to the Patriots, we can get you a ring, but you're gonna take the minimum because you need us. We don't really need you. It's like the Warriors are like, man, you know what? We could really use you. Like, we'd like to have you here. And Durant's like, you know what? I would like to go live somewhere else, and I would like to win games. That'd be dope. So he leaves and goes to the Warriors. A lot of people disagreed with it, saying that's not a basketball move. It's a weak move to go play for the competitor. Listen, let me make something really clear. This isn't, how do we say this? This isn't like high school where high school's not even a good example, because if you're in high school and there's a league, there's only like 8 teams in that league. I can't even use high school as an example. Let's say this. There's 30 teams in the NBA, 32, I believe. And those are the best teams in the league, right? Now, you play basketball all your life to make it to a particular level to win basketball games, right? So if you're in a situation where you spent 9 seasons with one team and you can't get over the hump and you go to the finals and you lose to LeBron's Heat, losing to LeBron, someone that also made a power move not too long ago. Then you lose to the Warriors, who made power draft moves. Then you've reached your upper echelon. Like, this is it. Like, this is the be all end all. There's people talk about it as though he went down to the G League, or like as though he went back to college or something. No, like, this is all you can do. All you can do at this level with these 32 teams is pick among these 32 teams to win the championship. That's all you have. I don't understand how it can be viewed as weak when the other team needs him. The other team needs him, and he's helpful on the team. He's averaging 27. He's not riding the bench to a championship. Like, and when people say this thing, someone's chasing rings, I don't understand that concept if you're someone that's averaging 30. Now, if you go to a team, you're just like warming the bench, which I've seen veterans do this. and I'm not going to say any names because I respect the game. I'm not going to call anybody I'm not going to say anyone did that. I'm not going to do that because I respect the OGs. I respect a lot of the guys I saw growing up. But a lot of those guys went to teams just warming the bench and then get a ring. I've seen it happen 1,000 times. But if you're going somewhere and you're putting up 25 plus buckets, 20 plus buckets, that team needs you and they won't win a championship without you. It's really that simple. The Warriors are averaging 102 points per game. If Durant is averaging 26, then that means they need him. It's really that simple. With all that said, I'm a strong believer in Durant's game. Kevin Durant is, I love Kevin Durant's game. I love it. It's great. Here's the thing. Kevin Durant is not the MVP. And after all I've said about him, he's a great player. He's awesome. However, I do believe that there's a possibility that this might just be to fill the narrative because last year, Paul Pierce made the hot take that Kevin Durant is the best player in the world and he's better than LeBron James. And everyone lost their minds. Like, oh my God, Paul Pierce, how could he be better than him? Oh my God. And then you say something enough. If you say something enough, as someone that has power and influence, such as Paul Pierce, it begins to be a thing. Now it's suddenly a thing. Not suddenly a thing, but now after KD hit that jumper, when LeBron kind of I'm not going to say fell asleep on defense, but he didn't think he'd pull up. He caught him slipping. Since then, is KD the best in the world? Is KD coming? And now it's this thing where they say he's coming. Whereas now he's the MVP candidate. People are saying he's the MVP. When as before, the same people felt like he was a soft, he was a cupcake, it was all these things, all these terrible things they called him because he went to go play for a better NBA team to have a better chance at winning a championship. But these same people now are saying that he's the MVP. Now, I know Curry went down for several weeks and the Warriors were doing fine. My only question is, if they didn't have Kevin Durant, would they still go to the finals? And I believe I think the answer to my question is yes. The problem with that, the problem with that assumption is it's often stated that someone shouldn't be the MVP unless without them their team is garbage. Now, I understand that concept, but there's something wrong with that. And I'm going to tell you exactly what's wrong with that concept when I get back from this commercial break.
Are you looking for the very best NFL and college football podcast? Then check out the GSMC Football Podcast. Get the latest football news both on and off the field. From the NFL Draft to trades to the rumor mill to the NFL Combines. They got you covered. That's GSMCpodcast.com/football-podcast. Get updates on college rivalries, game day insights, and much, much more. It's football talk the way you want it. This show eats, sleeps, and breathes football. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
Welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast with your favorite host, Ryan Holloway, presented on and by the GSMC Podcast Network. If you're just joining us, I was just talking about how I have an immense amount of love for Kevin Durant's game. I think he's great. He's an awesome guy, incredible player. I'm just not sure how he's someone that you can give the MVP to. Just because the Warriors were able to go to the finals without him, and they lost to the Cavaliers, as everyone knows, and they got Kevin Durant, and then they were able to beat the Cavaliers. And I feel like the Warriors already have an MVP on their team because Steph Curry is a 2-time MVP. If you already have one MVP, you get another. I'm not sure how that person can be the most valuable player on that team. So the common argument within when this happens is, well, how would that team do without that person? That'd be the question. Like, how would the team do without that person? Like, how would that happen? And we usually say things like, not we, but I hear this argument. I've made this before. Like, the MVP should be someone where if you remove them from that team, then the team would be absolute trash. Like, trash as in when LeBron left the Cavaliers, that level. Like, when LeBron left the Cavs and they lost, I don't know, 30 something straight games, like broke an NBA record for losing games. Now, within that situation, that's a great analogy. I'm not even sure if it's an analogy. That's a great comparison. That's what we say the MVP should be every time. Issue with that is when LeBron was on that team, LeBron made all those players better. So if you want to check the books for the players that were on that particular team at that time and find out where their careers went after LeBron, you can do that, and then you'll find out that not a lot of them thrived very much after LeBron had left. And I believe LeBron had a couple of those guys looking like all-stars. Actually, Mo Williams ended up being an all-star after playing with LeBron for a while. So he actually made the people around him better. So I can see how if you take that person off the team would be complete trash. Long as they make the person better. As long as that individual makes people around them better, then remove them in their trash incident, I guess it works fine. The problem with that theory is that if you're not making the people around you better, then you're just there. And all that means that you're an incredible player on a really bad team. That's where I think that the theory of you have to be on the trash team and be the best is it's a little flawed. It's a little flawed. And I'm not sure if that's the best way to measure it either. Like, oh, well, which player is the most valuable to that particular team? I don't think that's the way it works. I think the way it works is it's the most valuable player of the league and not the most valuable player on that particular team. Because if we're talking about the most valuable player on a team, would that be Giannis? Like the most valuable player to a particular team? It would be Giannis, right? Because I say that if you take Giannis Antetokounmpo, if you take him off of the Bucks, I feel like the Bucks are completely trash. And I feel like among any up and coming talent that's coming right now, among any talent that's like growing and becoming a big deal, I would say it would have to be Giannis, right? I mean, we got Joel Embiid, but his health is still questionable. We're not really sure about him quite yet. And I'm going to say that Giannis is super long, almost has a guard handle. He can Euro step. And I want to say Giannis is more versatile than Porzingis and Embiid. So when it comes to and get this, the Bucks are ranked 7th right now. And I feel like without Giannis, they'd probably be ranked last because Giannis is averaging, I want to say 25 per game. And he's a big deal. So he would be the most valuable player just solely based on the most valuable player on a team. But that's not how it's measured. I believe the reason people want to give it to Kevin Durant is because they want to say he's the most valuable player in the league, meaning he's the most valuable weapon. So if you put him on any team, that team's going to be exponentially better. And what I mean by that is this. If you have the Warriors and you go and get Kevin Durant, then you win the championship, period. Like there's no contingencies about it, which would make him the MVP. If you go and get this player and put him on any team, then that team is going to be exponentially better. So if you look at that and go back to certain players that receive MVPs at particular times, I think this makes sense. And I think other times they gave it to players based on them being the most valuable on that particular team. And so I feel like the actual award is measured differently at different times. Now, I want to say when Allen Iverson got it and when Russell Westbrook got it, I'm going to say they got it because they were the most valuable I want to say they were more valuable on their team than actual weapons. Because I personally feel like if Westbrook is playing with star players, his triple double, it's a great number, but I'm not sure if he can get star players the ball to go over the hump. I love Allen Iverson, my favorite player of all time. I feel like if he was on a different team, his game wouldn't be the same. I mean, him and I want to say, like, based on last year, Allen Iverson played on the exact same team that Russell Westbrook played on. Same team. They both averaged 30. Allen Iverson did not average a triple double, but he couldn't be stopped. Now, those teams would be terrible without them. Allen Iverson somehow, someway took the Sixers all the way to the finals. Now, he had to get MVP just because I don't really know of a different way that I don't know who else would have got that. He carried, I don't even want to tell you guys, George Lynch, Matt Geiger, the old Tony Kukoc, Aaron McKee, Eric Snow, Todd McCullough. I'm not reading these this was my team, right? So he carried these guys who you've never heard of to the finals. He had to get it. I think other times when they've given out the MVP, it's been the most valuable weapon. So like when Steph Curry got it, if you put him on any team, that team's going to be exponentially better. LeBron James got it. Any team exponentially better. Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Dirk Nowitzki. Like, so I feel like at times they give it to it's called MVP, but I feel like it should be like MPW, like most powerful weapon. Because if you put Kevin Durant on any team, that team is going to be exponentially better, no matter what. Whatever the hump is that team needs to get over, they'll get over that hump. If it's if you put him on the Pelicans right now, like let's say the Pelicans, for example, what's the Pelicans record? Can you tell me? What, they're 6? Jeez, okay. The Pelicans are 6, right? So I would say that if the Pelicans are 6 and getting over the hump would be getting out of the first round for them, then he would take them to the conference finals. Because really, when it comes down to it, the Pelicans are one shooter away from the finals. I'm telling you guys this right now. Like, in case anybody didn't know, the Pelicans are one shooter away from the finals. Now, Isaiah Thomas, not the Celtics one, but the Pistons one, he said he's been in the league 1,000 years. He's played basketball 1,000 years. Everyone knows this. Now, he said that those two are the best tandem that he's ever seen in his life. And he's seen all the basketball. He's seen all the basketball, all of it. He's seen all of it. He saw like Tim Duncan and David Robinson and a whole bunch of other tandems that like I've never seen before. He's seen college tandems before. He's seen them all. And for him to say that, it's a great honor. But you know why he's saying that? It's because DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis have guard skills. They're big men with guard skills. Anthony Davis was a point guard, but somehow hit a 6-7 inch growth spurt in high school. He already had all those skills, and now he's big and he can still do big guy stuff. So, and they've got a solid point guard who's Rondo. Rondo knows how to make any player greater. Now, similar to what I was saying about Kevin Durant being MVP, the MVP, it being like the most valuable weapon for a team, it will make any team exponentially better. Exponentially. Like, no matter where you put him, it will make him exponentially better. Rondo plays great with great players. He's not the type of point guard that's going to make a loser look like somebody that's stellar. Not going to happen. But if you put him around great players, he'll make them look outstanding. And I don't even know how it's possible to make DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis look better, but Rondo does it somehow, some way. So my hat goes off to Rondo. But they're one shooter away. Now, I know there's going to be there's going to be some contract issues when the next contract signing comes up with the Warriors, when it's time for Clay to get his money, when it's time for Durant to re-sign. I feel like Durant's going to stay a Warrior, but there's talk about Clay leaving. If the Pelicans got Klay Thompson on their team, like if they got Klay Thompson, they will go to the finals. I promise you, they're one shooter away. DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis are both averaging 30 points a game. I'm sorry. Let me not just keep saying everyone's averaging 30, because I know they're not both averaging 30, but they're both really close to averaging 30. Like I want to say, I don't have it right now, but you know what? I want to say Anthony Davis is averaging 30 because he's had 40 in back-to-back games. Actually, last night he had 45. The night before that he had 48. The night before that he had 36. The night before that he had 30. 30, 36, 48, and 45. Really? Really? Come on. Like really? Okay, so for the season, he's averaging 27. I knew he was averaging 27. He's averaging 27 points and 10 rebounds a game. He's a beast. He's a beast. And so if you have him on the squad and you have DeMarcus Cousins, who is averaging 21 and 11, they both have guard skills. They're both massively big. Like, they both can shoot the ball. They both play defense. Then you got Rondo, who plays D and passes the ball. Can you imagine if they had a shooter? The floor would be so spread out. No one would know what to do. Nobody would know what to do. So I believe they're a shooter away. Honestly, I don't know how I end up on that Pelicans tangent like that, but I was watching them last night and like I was watching them. I was like, you know what? These guys are going to be sick. These guys are going to be sick. And then Isaiah Thomas said it on the Players Only show. They have a show on NBA TV called Players Only, where it's Kevin McHale, Chris Webber, Isaiah Thomas, and it's players. And it's their breakdown of the game. It's outstanding. You should watch it one day. It's really good. It's interesting to see all of them just talking like that. It's cool. Watch it if you get a chance. I'm not on the show. That's not a plug. I just really like the show. I thought it was good. But so with that, I don't know. Maybe if Klay Thompson leaves and Durant's still there, I would see if Durant can get MVP, if the Warriors could still get over the hump. I'm not sure how. I guess I'm torn when it comes to Durant getting MVP. I'm torn because the Warriors were already good with him, and the Warriors already have an MVP in Steph Curry. But an MVP should get your team over the hump as far as the exponential increase goes. Now, if you say to me, well, here the argument works both ways, right? Because like, well, Ryan, they would go to the finals without him. Like, yes, so well, that means they wouldn't suck without him. So, like, you're saying you have to put someone on, I guess, the Kings, and they have to make the 8th seed for them to be an MVP? No. If you take somebody and you put them on a team, the team is exponentially better, then they're MVP worthy. Right? I mean, it makes sense because if he went to the Warriors and they didn't win the championship, then I don't think we could have this conversation, because it would be like, okay, they just have another player on their team. But if you go there, you average 27 and you win the championship, which is why they went and got you. I feel like that makes you an MVP. If someone goes and gets a player, puts them on a team to win a championship, and they win that championship, I feel like that makes you MVP. I think so. And I feel like that's why LeBron got it all those times with the Heat. It's like, yo, we went to get this guy to win the chip, and that's what we do. Like, how often does that happen? How many times can you do that? Really? Just tell me right now how often you could just go and get one player and then you win a championship. Let me know. Because I've seen it a couple times. I've seen it with LeBron. I've seen it with Kevin Durant. I've seen it with Shaq. Because that's why the Lakers went to get Shaq, right? They went to get him to win a championship, right? I mean, that's why. Then it took maybe 3 years, but they won wait, let me see. I think it probably took 2 or 3 years to win the championship, right? And Shaq's another player. Shaq was somebody that was the most valuable weapon on the team. Most valuable weapon. Like, you could put Shaq on any team in his prime, and it'd be an exponential increase. Like, whatever hump you're trying to get over, if you went to go get him, then you're going to get over that hump, period. Versus other trades in negotiations and moves that are made where it's like, oh, we're going to go get so-and-so. Oh, okay. Well, we kind of made it, but maybe next year we'll get there. That's why it's so disappointing when you go to get someone that doesn't help you get over the hump. Cause we went to get you for this, but how often do you go and get someone and say, we need you to win the championship? And they say, okay. And then you get them and they win the championship. I mean, I think within this argument, within having this conversation with you guys, I may have actually convinced myself of something. I'm going to tell you why. I'll be right back.
Check out the show that's built on the MMA, from the UFC to extreme cage fighting. They got the fights covered. Check out the GSMC MMA podcast. Get the latest news on past or upcoming fights. Join us as we talk to and about some of the biggest names in the MMA, past, present, and future. When it's the fight game, there's just one show to check out. GSMCpodcast.com/MMA-podcast. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
Welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast with your favorite host, Ryan Holloway, presented on and by the GSMC Podcast Network to fulfill all of your podcasting needs. So, I've been going back and forth with this about whether or not Kevin Durant is the MVP. And the origin of this, in my opinion, was when Paul Pierce said during the playoffs, Kevin Durant is the best player in the world. And it was the hottest take ever, and everyone lost their mind. And since then, we've been having this. Now, I'm not going to say we, because I didn't participate in this. There's been this shift from Kevin Durant being this villain who went to go do the best thing for his career to him being like this hero that everyone is worshiping. I thought that the career move was great. I've lived in the Bay Area. It's a fun place to be, especially if you make $50 million a year. So I was trying to debate whether or not he was the best player, and I understand how the MVP works. It's not necessarily it's not the most valuable player to a team. It's the most valuable player to the league. And if you are the MVP, then they should be able to take you and put you on any team in the league, and that team should be exponentially better. Exponentially better in the Warriors situation would be to win a championship. Why? Because they already went to the finals and they lost, right? So the whole argument of, well, this player has to be on a team that would be terrible if he wasn't there for him to be the MVP. If he's not there, the whole team would have to be garbage, which that argument, it's kind of bad because all that means you're a great player that plays among a bunch of losers. Not even losers, that's rude, but a bunch of people that aren't that good. That doesn't value your importance to the league. It just values your importance to the team. I feel like the most valuable player on a team right now, that you could not trade off of a team, period, would be Giannis Antetokounmpo. You can't. There's no way. You cannot take him off the Bucks, period. He's the most valuable player to his team. If he wasn't on that team, we wouldn't even know. The Bucks wouldn't even be in the league again. Like, there was a point where the Bucks weren't in the league. Like, nobody knew who they were. They just didn't exist at all. No one knew who they were. People were like, Milwaukee, is that in Hawaii? We had no idea. And then Giannis came around and suddenly Bucks. So, I feel like I may have convinced myself of something. And what I convinced myself of is I see why people would say that Durant is the best player in the world. I personally still don't feel like he's better than LeBron. I don't feel that way. But it's because LeBron lost to Durant in the finals. And it's unfair. We don't like to say that. We don't like to say it's unfair. That's not what we're going to say. But it is. It's unfair that, LeBron had Kyrie and Kevin Love, and they beat the Warriors, and the Warriors went and got Kevin Durant. And they beat LeBron. It's like, oh, LeBron must be Kevin Durant must be better than LeBron. Why? Because the exponential increase. That's why. That's exactly why. So it's like, okay, well, LeBron was good enough to beat the Warriors this time. Then they go and get Kevin Durant, and then he beats LeBron. And that's how it looks. It looks like a one-on-one match, but it's not really that. It isn't that. I don't feel like it is that, but I understand where everyone's going with this, and it's fine. It's okay. They'll meet in the finals again. They'll go head-to-head, and we'll have another opinion on it. I'm going to jump back to Paul Pierce. I told you guys several weeks ago, Paul Pierce, who spent 16 seasons with the Celtics, helped them win a championship in 2008 and won Finals MVP that year. Jeez, that was 10 years ago? Unbelievable. Okay, Wow, really? Jeez. 2008? Where's time going? What's happening? Okay, anyway, he was supposed to have a video tribute when his jersey is retired on February 11th. He is a Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer. He's a Celtic having his jersey retired. It's a really big deal. Isaiah Thomas, not the Pistons one I told you guys about earlier, but the Celtics one, he played for the Celtics for several years, and he was traded during the offseason to the Cavaliers. He was supposed to have his tribute earlier this month, but he did not want his tribute because he was not playing, and he wanted this tribute video to play while he was playing. Like he said, people are going to come see him, and he wanted the video tribute to be on a night when he could actually play and like put on a show. So the Celtics are like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we'll just change the date. Like, no big deal. That's cool. We'll change the date. No worries. Don't worry about it. It's cool. It's all good. And turns out, I don't know if people aren't checking calendars. I'm not sure who's in charge of dates and logistics, but somehow, some way, the next night that the Cavs play the Celtics is the same night that Paul Pierce has a jersey retirement. So at the same time, we were going to have two celebrations. And the Celtics were like, it's okay. We'll just show Isaiah Thomas's tribute video while Paul Pierce has a jersey retired. Which wasn't necessarily a popular idea because Paul Pierce was like, I don't necessarily want to look up on my jersey night and then see Isaiah Thomas highlights. I just not something I necessarily want to participate in. So that's not what I want to do. And my thing was, here's my problem. It's not really my problem, but I kind of feel like, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure why Paul Pierce's jersey retirement night has to be on the night they play the Cavs. I mean, I get it, but let me not say I don't get it. I get it because it's going to be the national televised game, but I also feel like it might be like low key petty because him and LeBron aren't the best of friends. So I think that might have something to do with it. Either way, I'm going to say that the Celtics, they kind of messed up with the whole scheduling thing. Anyway, this went back and forth for a while, and basically Isaiah Thomas decided to just wave the white flag and say, you know what, it's fine. It's not a big deal. I'm going to go ahead and I'm not worried about it. You guys should celebrate Paul Pierce that night and just be a bigger man about it. I mean, I feel like the tribute thing is kind of a wash anyway, just because the tribute thing was more or less a pat on the back type of thing where we traded you and we thought it was kind of surprising, so we're sorry, so here's the video. That's kind of what it was. They should have just played it the other day while he was like hurt, just to not, because you shouldn't necessarily be doing any favors for someone that doesn't play there anymore. Like, you guys went through this tragedy together as a family, staff, record label, and the crew, and they were like, yo, we got your back for whatever you need, and then you trade him. So then make concessions for him, like, oh, you don't want us to play your video today? Okay, we'll play it next month. No, just play the video. Like, don't try to befriend him now. It's a little too late for that. Isaiah Thomas said he wanted the video to play the same night the video was played so that he can actually like thoroughly just dog them. He said teams make trades like this all the time, and a couple years later they regret it. So he wants to go out there and put on a show and make them regret their decision, which I completely respect. When this whole thing happened, Rondo actually had input because he was asked about it, and Rondo said, "What has he done? What has he done here? We don't celebrate conference finals. This isn't the Phoenix Suns. No disrespect, but we hang banners here." Wow. And I mean, and he's right. He's right though, because similar to the way you just can't move the retirement of a Celtics jersey, you can't really just celebrate Eastern Conference Finals. It works both ways. Similar to Kobe Bryant's jersey retirement, like, it has to be the biggest deal to have your jersey retired as a Laker or a Celtic. And it makes sense. That's why it has to be played against the Cavs, right? Kobe's retirement basically was the same night as a Laker Warriors game. The Warriors are the draw for California. So if you're going to have the Lakers retirement and you want the game to be televised and it's going to be the biggest draw in this region to sell the most tickets, then it's got to be against the Warriors. You got KD, you got Steph Curry, you got Klay Thompson, you got Draymond Green. Everyone wants to see them play. Everyone wants to see Kobe Bryant talk and have a jersey retired. That's the draw. It has to be done on that night. Same thing with the Celtics and the Cavaliers. Has to be done on the night when the biggest draws are. The biggest draw in the Eastern Conference is LeBron James, period. Hands down. And because, I mean, you got LeBron and Dwayne Wade all on the same team and Isaiah Thomas all on the same team. That's the biggest draw. And it's going to be the Celtics game. And I'm sure they planned it like, oh, we should do this night because Isaiah Thomas would be there too. It'd be a big draw. Everyone's going to be there. So you have to do it that night. So, I mean, I get it. And I really respect Rondo for saying what he said because he's right. In that organization, they don't really celebrate that. So he doesn't really, he has no love. He has no love for the alleged tribute situation. He feels like the guy shouldn't get anything. What's he done? Rondo had a tribute after being traded, after playing there for X amount of years. He got a tribute, but I mean, he's won a championship there. I believe he has the most triple doubles in playoff history for the Celtics. So he's earned his dues to have a welcome home party there. The whole thing's just a mess, honestly. The whole thing is just a mess. I mean, it just goes to show that unfortunately when things happen in life, when you are in a situation, this may be a lesson to anyone. Whether you're in a situation, right, and something tragic happens, but you're in a business situation with someone, there's times where you may want to feel bad and have empathy, which you should, but you still have to make the best decision for yourself. That's what the Celtics did. They feel bad about it. So it's like, oh, well, we'll play a video when you want to play it. Now there just won't be a video I mean, maybe they'll do it next season. Who knows? I don't know. But they're trying to do this concession thing and feel bad about trading. I'm like, no, you guys, you already traded him after showing mad love and being really good friends, like all that. So just let it go. I mean, don't let it go. It's gross. it's gross already. This is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take a brief break. No, I'm not. I have to talk to you guys about something. This is something that wasn't popular among my friends, but among my colleagues and other people that I associate with. You guys know who Devin Booker is? Devin Booker plays for the Suns, and he gets buckets. Devin Booker gets buckets. He had 43 points last night. He had 21 in the fourth quarter. Now, I was talking to a good friend of mine. I was telling them about how if anyone's ever going to get 81 points again, it would be Devin Booker because Kobe Bryant at one point scored 81 points. My friends were like, "No way, it's impossible. Like Kobe, nobody's ever gonna. Silly, it's crazy. No one can ever have that many points. Only Kobe. Only Kobe can ever do it." And I'm like, well, he had 70 once. They're like, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't even make a difference. I'm like, okay, well, he had 70 and he didn't even make like a lot of 3-pointers. So I believe 81 is possible. And they laughed at me, said it was impossible. And I just want to make this really clear. Just so everyone knows this. Everyone has to know this. When Devin Booker scores 82 points and beats Kobe Bryant's record, I was the first person to say this. Mark this day right now. I don't know what day is it. Can someone tell me? Does anyone know what day? I believe it might be the 17th. It might be the 17th, but it might be the 17th. I'm not 100% sure, but I will tell you this. If he has 70 points, I need whoever's listening to this, I need all of you guys to just go ahead and just send me a rose or a flower, just something nice. Say, hey, Ryan, you know what? We appreciate what you do for the culture, and you were 100% right. Because he's going to score 82 points. He scored 70 and didn't. I don't have the stat right now. I wish I did for you guys, but I want to say he made 4 threes. If that. That's 12. So 82 is 100%. 82 is 100% possible. I just want to say that. I saw him drop 43 last night with a 21 in the fourth quarter, and I was like, he's going to do this. This is definitely going to happen. Like, there's no stopping this from happening. When I get back, I'm going to tell you guys about how the Ball brothers combined for 60 in Lithuania. 60 buckets. Be right back.
Check out the show built around the women of MMA. From the UFC to the extreme cage fighting, we got the fights covered.
Listen.
It's the Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast. The latest news of upcoming fights, discussions of previous matches. Join us as we talk to and about the biggest names in women's mixed martial arts, past, present, and future. When it's the women's fight game, you know where to listen to. The Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast.
Welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast with your favorite host, Ryan Holloway, presented by the one and only GSMC Podcast Network for all of your podcasting needs. I was just telling you guys about how Devin Booker is going to score 82 points and break Kobe Bryant's record of 81. I know a lot of you Kobe fans are going to be upset about that, but that's just the real right now. That's what's going to happen. Mark my words, I said it on January 1st. Sorry, what am I talking about? Jeez, I'm sorry. On January 17th, 2018. Mark my words, that happened today. You want to know what else happened today? About how long ago was this? 6 years ago. 6 years ago, in the third quarter of the Miami Heat's victory over the Golden State Warriors, LeBron becomes the youngest player to reach 20,000 points. And at 28 years old and 17 days, which is like kind of eerie, kind of ironic. I don't know if it's eerie or ironic or what the word is exactly, but Kevin Durant scored his 20,000th point a couple weeks ago while on the Warriors. 6 years ago, LeBron scored his 20,000th point against the Warriors this same month. And another milestone for Kevin Durant, just as a heads up. This is weird too. Kevin Durant scored 54 points in a win over the Warriors January 17, 2014. So we got a lot of Warrior stuff and some points happening, and Kevin Durant's on the Warriors. I don't know, it's kind of eerie. So congrats to LeBron for making 20,000 points 6 years ago. I told you guys I was going to give you guys a heads up about the Ball brothers, and the other day when they played in their top of the league, their creme de la creme league, like the D1 of the whole. Basically, they're in a tournament that's called the Big Baller Brand Tournament. Of course, that's what it's called. And within this tournament, they're going on exhibition games and playing different teams on the team that they're actually on. When they played their first game, which was, I want to say it was against a 16 to 18-year-old team. Both the brothers each had about 20, 21, 24 points. The next game, when they had to play the D1 teams, they got shut down. They got dogged. It was pretty bad. LeVar Ball said that, when I say shut down, I mean they scored 0 points. LeVar Ball said the coach needs to play his boys together more. You got to play them together more. And I said that's not going to help them not score 0. And the coach said that the coach of the team said that happened that way because they just don't know the plays. That's where they're at. They just don't know what the plays are, which is understandable. Last night they played. Not last night, guys. My apologies. Monday night they played a Division II league, and they combined for 60. LaMelo had 31, and LiAngelo had 29. Now I watched a couple of the highlights, and they did win this game by 40 points. And LaMelo was stunting. He threw the ball off the backboard once to try to throw a dunk down, and he missed it. And he threw a lob to LiAngelo, and LiAngelo got up a little bit. I didn't know LiAngelo could jump like that. He looked like he got up a little bit. It could be just because he's 6'6". I'm not sure, but from the angle, it looked like he got up. He kind of banged on a guy. It was pretty impressive. Now, just watching them play, I don't know. We don't know where this is going. I talked a little bit earlier about some of the most some of the most popular decisions made, like the most successful decisions that we know about being made aren't popular at first, similar to Durant going to the Warriors. Now people want to give him MVP. That's how it is. When LeBron went to Miami Heat, people wanted to burn his jersey, then they wanted to give him MVP. So that's usually how things go. So with LeVar pulling his kids out of the high school in Chino Hills and pulling his kid out of UCLA, I mean, we're not really sure how that's going to go. Me personally, I understand. I understand pulling LaMelo out of high school just because he's a top prospect. I feel like he can only get better. There's a lot of room to grow. As far as LiAngelo goes, him being at UCLA because Lonzo was there and like there was a package deal. If Lonzo went there, then LiAngelo can go there too. I feel like you go ahead and milk UCLA for everything possible if you're there and you're not really supposed to be there. I think that's one of those opportunities in life where you get an opportunity because of who you know, and you have to take full advantage of that. There's only certain times in life that that's going to happen. I'm just letting you guys know this. This is a little bit of game too. I'm not saying take advantage of anybody at all, because it's wrong. To exploit people is wrong. What I am saying is this. There's rare opportunities in life where you're going to be put in a position because you know someone. And when you are in that position, you cannot let that opportunity pass you by. So if you end up at UCLA only because it was negotiated that you get to go there because your brother is there, and you're probably not an NBA prospect at this time, I think you milk that opportunity for every single thing that it's worth. But that's just my personal opinion. Either way, if they make a bunch of money overseas and they become stars over there, it's fine. So be it. If they play over there long enough to get drafted into the NBA, so be it as well. That'd be great. From what I gather, as of right now, overseas, they're making $1,000 per game. So, I mean, that's a start. It's something, but this is milking cows. A few of my colleagues, we call this milking cows. Actually, I'm not going to say I made this up. Gary Vee made this up, milking cows. And when you're milking cows, this is like the unsexy part of the job. This is not the highlights everyone sees. This isn't when people go to the store and they buy their milk, they make their smoothie with it, and they eat the cereal with it, and they cook with it. No. This is the milking cows part. And that's what they're doing. It's just, I think it's difficult for people to watch the hard work and the behind the scenes work. And basically what they're doing right now is an internship process. And if you have any other job in life, if you've ever gotten anywhere that you had to work pretty hard to get, there was a time when you had to go somewhere and take a pay cut or do something that was inconvenient or go out of your way to get where you needed to be. Too far, not too far. That's not the right way to start the sentence. Too often we see players like rise and they get more and more famous and more famous until they get drafted, and hooray, like they're always important. But sometimes you gotta just blow it all up, and that's what they did. They blew it all up, went overseas to go start somewhere fresh and see if they can make it back over here. And I commend them for that, because a lot of times it's the unsexy stuff that no one ever sees. It's all the hardest part is the practice. And then once you come to the light, that stuff is easy. That's what I believe Muhammad Ali and Usain Bolt have both said that. Like the hardest part is training. And then once the show is popping, it's all good. So their hardest part right now is playing in Lithuania and trying to get better. When they actually make it back to the US and they're stars, everyone says, "Oh my God, it was such a great idea. LeVar Ball is a genius. I can't wait to send my kids overseas." And everyone to pat them on the back and give them high fives. So I commend them, and I'm wishing them luck. I wish ill will upon no one. The game of the night is going to be, are you guys ready for this? Are you ready? I hope so, because I got one for you guys. I have one. It's going to be nice. Tonight, I want you guys to go ahead and watch the Lakers against OKC. Why do you ask me that? Because OKC at times loses games that they're supposed to win, and Kyle Kuzma is averaging 16.8 points per game. Even though the Lakers are the worst team in the league, they may beat the Oklahoma City Thunder just because the Oklahoma City Thunder are doing well. However, they're off and on. They're off and on, and I think it's gonna be a good game to watch. OKC is favored by 9.5 points. I don't necessarily trust that. I wouldn't go with that. If I were you, this is what I would do, though. I would take the New York Knicks plus 1.5 against the Memphis Grizzlies, just because I personally, I don't believe in the Grizzlies. And for some reason, I don't know who's in charge of this, but a lot of times I feel like the odds makers still believe that the Grizzlies are good. I'm not sure what's happening with that, but we're going to sneak in. We're going to take that money from you guys. Ready for that? I hope so. This has been another amazing, much anticipated episode of the GSMC Basketball Podcast with your favorite host, Ryan Holloway. Live long, prosper, watch for potholes. Talk to you guys on Friday.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.